Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahabhiryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may He protect us both. May we both enjoy together. May we both exert together. May our studies become brilliant. May we not become disputatious and hate each other. Om, peace, peace, peace. To mark the state of self-realization, when Arjuna is asking the question, how does a realized person walk? How does he talk? How does he speak? How does he meet with the external world? What is his basic nature? When he is not meeting with the external world, how he is sitting? What is going on in his head? This dream is required by everybody to reach perfection. So many people talk from the point of view of there is nothing called a perfect state. People may keep on discussing about is there perfection, is there not. We'll take it as conclusion because great masters have reached that state and they have said that there is a state. So I don't have the stamina, strength, and the arrogance to dispute what they are going to say. Even if I don't reach that highest, still I will be relatively happier in believing that rather than not believing it. So there is this state of supreme realization. How do you reach? How do I understand that who has reached this state? You cannot look outside and say that person has reached a state. We only see the effects. So when we see somebody opening an orphanage, somebody making an eye hospital or something like that, we say that that person is doing a lot of things in social structure. Therefore, he or she may be realized. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. All the desires have to be removed from the mind. And the person is very comfortable inside. Atmanne atmana tushtaha sthita pragyasya dhochate. Then what happens inside him? When he sees sorrow, dukkheshvanudvigna manaha, sukheshu vigata. When he is meeting joy or sorrow, he is equanimous. Why? Vita raga bhaya krodha is given up. The desires, raga, bhaya, fear, and anger, both, all the emotions. Such a person is called at the highest state. Then he meets everybody. It's not that he's just sitting in one place and saying, okay, let the sadness come. If you are sitting and isolated from the society, it is very easy to remain happy. It can be a tamasic state. So here he's talking about he meets everybody, whoever is required to be met, and while meeting, he meets opportunities, good as well as bad. And when these aspects come, labha, labho, when the profits come, joy come, he undertakes it but doesn't take it seriously. He finds a solution to it and moves on. How does he move into the world? Yada samharate chayam, like a tortoise, very carefully, not indulging in any contacts, but sense contacts he's going through. Only thing is he's not indulging in those objects. Indulgence is where the mind readily goes into it and gets attached to the said object or being. If you are attached to any object or being, you will suffer. Either that object or being will be taken away from you, or there will be a rupture between both of you, or one of them will die. Do not hear this listlessly, says a great saint Swami Ramatirtha. So, not get attached and continue in the world like a tortoise. And when, like a tortoise, you are moving in the world, whatever weaknesses you have regarding that particular sense object, the object disappears from your vision. Not only that, the taste of the object, it takes a little while to go, but it also disappears. Even that goes. Don't underestimate the power of the senses. That is the reason yatato yapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitah indriyani pramadini. The senses are turbulent mode, and in that turbulence, the senses take away one's mind also. So never underestimate a weakness of the sense saying, no, this only I have one weakness. Never do that. That's it. When you are doing that, such a person who doesn't take his own senses, mind and intellect for granted, Tani Sarvani Sayyamya, he has collected all these things in complete control of body, mind and intellect. And he sits focusing on the higher. Now my mind is relatively clearer, relatively purer. How do I reach at that higher state? He is at peace completely. And again, the last line, when the sense objects and the senses are controlled and not indulging in sense objects. Vishaya yatato yapi kaunteya purushasya vipashi indriyani prama. So every time the pramathini, the turbulence is to be saved, and I am sitting in control of my senses. You have to start with that. All of us have to start with the control of the senses. This is what happens when the mind gets distracted. But how does it happen? How does it start? Nobody in the world wants to become bad. Nobody comes from the mother's womb saying, I want to become a bad person. They all start, all of them, most of the worst of the criminals start by being good. They're trying to do something. But somewhere down the line, the so-called practical aspects of the world take over. At that time, the child grows up, and we have these two motivations before us. One is what I want to become as a human being. The other is what the world makes me as a human being. When I lose control of myself, then the world starts taking control of me. Then I become something else. I want to become this, but I have become that. All my stress, agitation, and tensions is this deviation between what I wanted to become and what I have become. The more the deviation, more the agitation. A self-realized person, a spiritual person reached to that height, he brings this variance together. Then the statement becomes, whatever I wanted to become as a human being, I have become. But somewhere down the line, we skip a beat. How does all this process start? So this next verse is a beautiful verse. The process starts by when I get agitated inside, when I get tensed inside, I look around for solutions. It's natural. Even when I am sick, first I'll go to the doctor and tell him that, see, I am sick, please give me some medicines. I want my health back. Similarly, when mentally I am agitated, you look out for solutions. And first solution you look at your own residences. You ask your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, sometimes even your children. You ask all of them of how to relieve my stress. And when all those aspects, nothing works, then you listen to Mahatmas and Gurus. The problem is your surrender total? There are three types of students who approach the Granthas. The first type is one of the rarest type of student. They genuinely have a problem within. They were agitated before. They do get agitated, stressed, and depressed even now sometimes. And they genuinely want to find a solution to these agitations. So they come to a satsang, they come to a class, they come to a teacher, and their whole focus is just learning from whatever the teacher says and implementing it in their life. Like the great Ramatirtha says, if it is implementable, I implement and I find it working in my life, I will accept it. If it is not implementable and it is just theory, then I will not accept it. Use your head. So this is the type of student. Surrender is there and they are listening, and their whole attitude is only one. They want this knowledge so that they can change their life. This is student number one. Student number two are the forced students. Forced students means I am listening to somebody. I call the other person also and say, you also listen because I like it. So the other person also comes together for the satsang. They may listen here and there, but there is no true hunger. So they are just sitting there, and one day, the priority for the classes goes to the lower level and they give it up. The third type of student is a student who comes and tries to test the teacher. Sir, can you explain the first verse of Isavasya Upanishad? What is it? Oh, you don't know that? Isavasya midugu sarvam yat kinchat jagatya jagatena tyaktena bhunjida magrida kasya siddhanam. So can you explain this? Not heard about it. Oh, what about Keno Upanishad? Kene Shita? That too you must know. I don't think I have done it. They come to test the teacher, whether the teacher knows. Whatever I know, whether the teacher knows. This is the third type of student. So when the testing is done and the true teacher, they will not pass a comment. I told you, they will be like Howard Rock from Fountainhead. I don't want to comment on nonsense. Like Krishna, when Arjuna is talking the first chapter, Krishna rarely says anything in the first. He just allows him to speak. This is, and they will keep on saying, no, I don't know this. I don't know this. I know a little bit about how I changed my life for the better. And that trick of the trade, I'm trying to educate so that out of 100, one person may take that. So these people also go dissatisfied saying, oh, this person doesn't know anything, and move off. The fourth type and the worst type is where they are testing the teacher. Not only that, they think they know better than the teacher. So when the teacher is giving some solution or someone, they will give saying, no, I don't think this is the way. This is the way it is. Such students are the useless kind because they don't learn anything. Whenever something needs to enter, when the glass is full, there is no further water. When the glass is full, there is no further water going inside. If I want to put some water inside, I need to empty it. Similarly, I need to empty this and say, I don't know anything. A little bit, but not much. So let me listen. Fourth category are the show-offs. Most of us, if not all, belong to the three categories: second, third, and fourth. Rare is the one who fits the first category. Because the person who fits the first category analyzes his or her life. They are not bothered about anything else. When you are not bothered about what is happening in the other person's life, when you are bothered about how you can be a better person, Because once I be a better person, once I do all the activities out of sheer love for the activity, knowledge, love, emotion will spread throughout the society. Then you will exactly know how to control the knowledge when you are talking. Should you give the knowledge or should you not give the knowledge? You will know exactly what kind of emotions you have. There was this Mahatma who went to a particular factory. When he went to a particular factory to give a lecture, he heard there was a commotion in the interiors. There was this boiler room and all, And there, three people fell into that boiler and they naturally perished. They died. The Mahatma was so sad. He met the family members. He said, I'm so sorry, but the lecture was not cancelled. The family members of those people, they came to the teacher and said, listen, this is the time we need this knowledge more than ever. They came to the teacher and said, this is the time we need to learn this knowledge of how to get out of this situation. Mentally, I am feeling pained. Mentally, I am saddened. How to get out of this? And that Mahatma says, this is the way you learn how to deal with life. Each one of us have emotions, but why should there be an emotional drama? Have genuine. So you will know how to learn the emotions, how to tackle it. You will know how to do with the body, how to get over all the aches and pains of this physical personality. Everything will be clear to you. As soon as you understand the mechanism, why was I getting agitated? What was the problem? I was crying so much. Now, looking back at it, it was not such a big episode. Then why I was taking it so seriously? This is the verse which explains why something happens and how it happens. Why everybody knows that person caused my agitation, this situation. Either we deal in life with difficult situations or difficult people. And the most difficult person is myself in my life. We forget that. So this person understands the whole psyche of how the deterioration of one's personality happens. And that's what this verse is. It's one of the most important verses of the Bhagavad Gita. This is chapter 2, verse 62 and 63, both put together. We'll just chant this verse. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bhijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha sammohat smriti vibhramaha smriti bhramshat buddhinashaha buddhinashat pranashyati dhyayato. I'll just read the English translation, then we'll go into it. A man musing on objects develops attachment for them. From attachment arises desire. From desire arises anger. From anger arises delusion. From delusion, confusion of memory. From confusion of memory, loss of intellect. From loss of intellect, pranashyati, he is destroyed. He perishes. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha. It starts with one thought. Therefore, this whole process, you just listen to me properly, and after that, I think so you will get a diagram to explain it beautifully. This whole thing is called a snowball effect. Why it is called a snowball effect? Because when an avalanche is supposed to come, it starts with a tiny portion right at the top, which looks completely insignificant and harmless. It starts with that. How it starts? Thought. Dhyayato vishayan pumsa. Musing, just thinking about some object or being. It starts with that. Then That thought becomes attachment. Attachment is a little thicker version of the thought. One thought going towards a particular sense, object, or being, 10 thoughts together, binded together, going to that particular object or being is attachment. From attachment comes desire. 10 thoughts, which is an attachment, becomes 100 thoughts, desire, towards the same object or being. I'll explain to you with an example, so you'll come to know it properly. When I was in college, we were sitting together, all of us friends together, in a canteen. It was a traditional day. You know, all the colleges have traditional days. So we were in our fineries. My finery was kurta and dhoti even then, even it is the same thing now. So the fineries, and a lot of people were wearing jewelry, this, that, everything, moving around. So all the boys were wearing kurtas, pant, shirt, ties, suited and all the girls were wearing saris and dress materials and vagara, vagara, everything. Myself and my friends were sitting together, having some samosa or something like that, trying to enjoy. Suddenly, my friend tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, look at that." And I said, "What?" We looked, and there were a bunch of girls, around 15, 20 girls. He said, out of that, he pointed out to one particular girl. Remember, it can be a boy also for ladies, okay? So it's not that. Looked at the girl and said, "Doesn't she look pretty?" So I looked and said, yeah, she's okay. And then we can, because the focus should not shift. Focus was on samosa and tea, so it should not shift. So we were very sure about our focuses. So we were having that. Then traditional day happened. We had a fun. We went to movies, came back, all friends. Next day, we came to our classes. Again, the friend tapped and said, "Arey, it's the same girl, na? Yesterday we saw." I saw. I said, "Yeah, it's the same girl." Right. And then, wherever we are going, it's literally like those girls are following us. Everywhere I am looking, and my eyes are resting on the same person every time. There may be 10 people, but my eye straight goes to that one person. First, it started with a thought. Then it became attachment. This is attachment. Then a desire comes. What is the desire? Company. I wish that person's company. So my friend came to me and said, "Are, do you know my sister? No, she also studies here. My sister's best friend. This girl is the best friend." Intro. Can she give me an intro? Of course. Gave me an intro. I came to know the girl's name. She came to know me. And I'm very, very honest, good forward, very straightforward person. Never said bad about anybody, at least before the girl. That image needs to be built up. Then we are sitting in the canteen and just having a cup of tea. Simple, talking about physics, chemistry, mathematics, all this, great talks. Suddenly the friend comes from behind. Now the desire, I had the desire to have the company of that person. That got fulfilled. Then my friend came. I said, "Hey, you people are sitting here. I've been looking out for everywhere I've been looking for you." I said, "Hey, come, take a chair." I said, "No, anyway, I'm going." And he's seeing that this girl is reading some paper or something. So what he does is, he puts the hand around her shoulder and says, "What are you doing?" I am sitting right before this guy, my best friend, puts his hand on the girl and saying, "What are you doing?" And I felt so good, so peaceful. I'm telling lies, okay? It was jealousy. I was so angry at that person. Anger is desire when it is interrupted. I wanted to do a particular thing, but when I am prevented from doing that particular thing by any object, then a misdirected thought goes towards that object, that person has interrupted my flow, and that is anger. I got angry. When I got angry, same thing, from anger, From anger comes delusion. So we have already achieved this thought. From thought comes attachment. From attachment comes desire. Is the desire fulfilled? Yes or no? No, the desire is not fulfilled. My stupid friend came in between, and anger towards that friend. Then delusion, confusion of memory completely. Deluded means seeing everything perverted. You are always like this. Previous also used to do that. You don't really respect me as a friend. Every time I'm considering you as a friend, but you have always backstabbed me. You Brutus, you give all those things. Complete in delusion. With this complete delusion, confusion of memory. Remember 1 month back what you did? Remember 3 months back what you did? And you get everything mixed up. What mixed up? Right and wrong. Not the dates. Dates you will be all right. Right and wrong. What is the right way of looking at the situation? You shut it off. You don't look at it. What is the wrong way of looking at the solution? You will get into it. Wrong way of looking at that situation. You will get into it and everything gets muddled. Confusion, smruti, bramshad, buddhi. When confusion of memory is gone, intellect perishes. You are no more able to think. The intellect is completely destroyed. The mind is completely taken over, your personality. So what is the mind does? Mind just functions on likes and dislikes. It just is reactive at every time. Why don't you just shut up? You shut up. You're a donkey. You're a monkey. This is react. This is mind. It keeps on going. Mind completely takes over the personality, and the intellect perishes. The personality destroys itself. Pranashyati. So if the desire is not fulfilled, I get angry. Out of anger, I get deluded by whatever is happening. With this delusion, I lose the strength of what is right and what is wrong. All the memory gets like one lady told me, sir, my mind is full, it's like noodles. It's become like that. Now nothing goes in, nothing correct goes in. Intellect gets destroyed, and once you stop thinking, your life ends. That's where majority of the people don't want you to think. I keep on saying in every class, if you are thinking, it makes you a very dangerous person, because you cannot be manipulated or maneuvered by wrong people. Therefore, the first attack is always on the education system. Let the intellect go. Once the intellect goes, it's destroyed. Got it? Yes, sir. Thank you very much. But sir, actually, when you don't get anything, I understand. I understand. Yeah. You are in love with somebody and then it doesn't function. You get angry. There are a lot of cases like that we have heard. But thank God, my desire actually fulfilled. It really fulfilled. I was sitting with the same lady or same man in the canteen, and I got married to the same person. Ultimately, I asked the girl, who is this, my friend, how do you see my friend? So she said, ye to mere bhai jaisa hai. He is my brother. I became so nice, happy. Everything. And then I proposed to her. She proposed to me, and it became all right. Now, no problem. Now we are going to get married, sir. This is the invitation card. Great. You had a desire. Desire is fulfilled. Are you happy? Kaika happy. She asked me, where do you stay? I said, I am staying in a 1-room apartment. She said, at least you should have 2 rooms. At least you should have 3 rooms. At least 4. How many cars you have? How much? Every time. So it's not only marriage. I want to get married. I want to get married in a nice house. I want to get married in a nice house with a lot of cars. I want to get married in a nice house with a lot of cars, with a lot of servants. It keeps on going. This is called greed. And it's a never ending thing. 3 room to 4 room to 4 room to 5 room to 5 room to 6 room to a building. Still you're not enough. Every time you'll keep on crying. You have everything in the world. But the mind is never satisfied because you are always greedy. when will I get my next? I want more, I want more, I want more. That is the reason all these shops, they have this 999. Once a king was walking, and when the king was walking with his minister, king was a little tensed. He had this face like this, and he was walking around, and he saw a gardener, and that gardener is nicely singing songs. He's singing nicely song and going on. The king looks at the gardener and he looks at the minister and says, this fellow has nothing. He's in rags. How come he's so happy? And how come I am miserable when I'm living in a palace? He said, don't worry, sir. Actually, we belong to a particular club. I'll see to it that he also joins our club. He says, what club? So I'll let you know. Tomorrow you see him, he'll not be happy. So what are you going to do? So just leave it up to me. Okay. Every day the person used to get 1 rupee and he used to spend 1 rupee in food and enjoy at that time. So old story. So at that time. Night, the minister went to this poor man's house and put a bag full of rupees. The poor man opened the bag and he showed his wife and said, my God, it's all money. Every time we are eating for 1 rupee, look at how many rupees. And they started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 90, 91, 92, 99. And it stopped. He said, nobody gives 99. They either give 100 or it's always a round figure, So we'll count again. He counted 3 times. And 3 times it turned out to be 99. In all that, he said, 99, now what do we do? That day, they did not eat anything. Next day, the king saw the gardener. He was very seriously putting water into it, but he was not smiling and he was not singing any song. The king asked the minister, what did you do? He says, sir, now he is belonging to our club. We are a 99 club, 99 rupees club. Because 99 rupees club, every time thinking, when will the 100th come? I am happy now, but if I do that, I'll be happy. At any given point of time, my happiness is punctuated or dependent on some further acquisition and enjoyment. Every point of time, my happiness is dependent on some future acquisition and enjoyment. Am I happy now? Yes, but if I get that, I will be happier. So you think. If I get that person in my life, I will be happier. So you think. And this path keeps on going. Greed. When you become greed and greed overtakes you, then again, you go back to anger, delusion, shortage of memory, loss of intellect, and destruction. If somehow you escape greed and you're saying that I don't want to be greedy, whatever is there, let me enjoy. Then whatever you have, you become mother, arrogant about that. You know what all I have? What all house I am living? Which car you have? Oh, the small one. I have a bigger one. And the person by the side is not even talking. He's got Mercedes Benz. We compare everybody. Arrogance. Which car you have? Look at my wife, how beautiful she is. Look at my husband, how beautiful he is. Look at my children, how intelligent they are. Look at my group, how beautiful they are. Look at my guru. Which guru you have? From where do you learn Vedanta? I have not heard about that person. You know what my guru? My guru is called so-so. Lakhs and lakhs of people attend his satsang. Krishna talked to one person, Arjuna. Jesus Christ talked to 13. That's it. this attitude. Arrogant about my guru, arrogant about my student, arrogant about, look how much more spiritual I am, showing of the knowledge. Some kind of arrogance seeps inside a personality. Therefore, in one of the movies, they say vanity, a devil says, vanity is my favorite sin. That ego of how much Vedanta I know. Truest masters keep quiet. They don't say anything. They don't know. You live your life, I will live my life. That is the true knowledge. So arrogance, if you get into this arrogance, again it will be the same. Anger, delusion, loss of memory, blah, blah, blah. If somehow you escape from anger, then envy, jealousy. Jealousy where something is there and you are jealous, I still understand. Jealousy when nothing is there and you are jealous about it, you are finished. Jealousy, envy, what the other person is having, when will I have that? It is in the physical level. In the childhood, I used to keep on saying about, I want more height, I want more height, I want more height, I want more weight, more weight. Then when I grew up, I don't want this weight, I don't want this weight. Every time I want, I don't want, I want, I don't want, I want, I don't want. Envy about everything else. Your measure of beauty is looking at other people and saying, I want to become that. The fairness industry in India is the multi-billion dollar industry. I have to become fair. Why do you want to become fair? An Indian is a tropical climate, the skin is better. There are people in foreign countries sitting with tins in their hand and they want to get your color. And you want to become them. The black wants to become white, the white wants to become black. It just goes on. Amazing. Envy about, maybe if I have that, I will be happy. The race goes on. Nobody is happy. If you are escaping from that too, so you have escaped from greed, you have escaped from anger, you have escaped from arrogance, you have escaped from envy, then there is always a fear of losing. I have this. What will happen tomorrow if I am not there? I can't understand this question. Logically, if you are not there, what is the problem? No, if not, I am not there, what will happen afterwards? Big deal. Every mother thinks this. My child needs me. They can't eat without me. And the children are saying, Mom, it's all right. We'll manage. 4 days you go to your parents' place, look after the father and mother. We are all right. No, what will you eat? I'll make some food and keep for you. All those things. She keeps the food in refrigerator for 4 days. She makes everything and keeps, and then she has to go emergency. She goes. Do you think the children and the father, if possible, are they going to eat the refrigerated food the same night? No. They will call an order from somewhere outside. They are going to have a party. And after 4 days, even when you call and say, Beta, I'm going to come. I miss you guys so much. I know you must be troubled. You must be struggling. The children and the husband will say, stay 2-3 days more. Just relax. Take care. That is your duty. Take care. We'll take care of ourselves. They are having party time. No one in this world is indispensable. No one. We are all like those dispensable syringes. One use and get out. That's the level. But a person who's got this possessive nature, this is mine, this is mine, they are always afraid. What will happen? What is going to happen? What will happen if you die? Someday you will have to die. No, but you should not die. You should not live. We should not lose this. So many, there are conditions to a level where I have asked these elders, so-called aged persons, 80 years old, their attitude is, I know everybody has to die, but sir, how I wish to die. I want to watch my favorite program in TV, and then I'll just sit like this, sip a cup of tea or coffee or whatever, and then close my eyes and just a little bit of, huh? Bas. ऐसे होना चाहिए. I don't want to go to hospital. I don't. Even death we dictate. Whole life we are dictating anyway. This is where I want to. Even death we are dictating. Every aspect. We are afraid of everything. What will happen if we lose? Any of these, you will be destroyed. So whether the desire is fulfilled, you will be destroyed. Whether the desire is not fulfilled, you will be destroyed. Othello was a favorite example where this person was a captain, a Moor of a ship, fell in love with this lady, divine lady, Desdemona. What a principal lady she was. Great character. He got married to Desdemona and he had his favorite childhood friend, Cassio. And he gave a role in his ship to Cassio as a supervisor, a captain. But this captainship was known or wanted, somebody else wanted that position, and that guy was called Iago. Iago wanted that in the ship to become the captain, but Othello, because his best friend was there interested, he gave it to Cassio. And Iago is seething in anger because 15 years he served with Othello and he genuinely thought he deserved it. Now the position is gone to somebody else. He says, I don't know what to do because this Othello is very strong physically. How do I attack him? How do I take my revenge? And then he sees that Cassio, Othello, and Desdemona, all three are best friends, BFFs. And in that friendship, Othello is standing like this on the deck, in the engine room, on the deck before. Desdemona comes from here, Cassio comes from here, and Cassio takes Desdemona's hand and kisses and says, how are you, my lady? And Desdemona is also happy and gives her hand. Iago stands by the side and slowly he whispers into Othello's ear. Oh, he takes her by the hand. I like not that. Othello says, what are you saying? No, nothing. After that, constantly Iago is feeding into Othello's head about how handsome is Cassio with that beard of his. He's a really young guy, handsome guy, and Othello was old, by the way. There was a 27-year-old gap between Desdemona and Othello. And Desdemona is also so, their match is so beautiful. Right? When they walk together, it looks so good. And he starts putting everything into Othello. Ultimately, that guy goes mad. Iago finds a handkerchief of Othello and he takes it and says, I dreamt of your wife, my captain. Any other husband would look at Iago and say, boss, who are you to dream about my wife? But he doesn't say that because the mind is already gone. You dreamt about my wife, Desdemona. What was she doing? Oh, she was sitting like this. And Cassio was laying on her lap. She gave a drink for him to drink. He drank and a little bit fell on his beard. He didn't even know how to drink properly. A little bit of liquid fell on the beard. Yes, that's what happened. Then what happened? Desdemona, your wife, your devoted wife, took a handkerchief and gave it to Cassio. He wiped his beard thus and threw it away in the sea. By the way, I saw in that handkerchief, there was O written. That is my handkerchief. I had given her as a marriage present to Desdemona. How dare she do that? I said, my lord, you are getting carried away. It was just a dream. Why are you so irritated? It's just a dream. It may not happen. Best to be sure, but you don't know. It's a woman. We don't know what happens. You remember she betrayed her father for you. So betrayal is in her blood. We don't know. We can do one thing. Ask for the handkerchief. If she gives you the handkerchief, then everything is all right. And then Othello, what if she does not? Then I leave it up to you, my lord. That's it. Then he goes and asks Desdemona, handkerchief. Where is my handkerchief? She says, I misplaced. And then he comes and tells Iago, it must be her death. We have to do it. He tells her to wear a marriage gown and says, come tonight to the room I will be there. And she's so happy the husband is going to come, because till now they were not even together in the room. She's sleeping. This man looks at Desdemona sleeping, and he says, he looks at the light and says, I switch off this light, and then I switch off thy light. If I switch off this light, I know how to rekindle it. But if I switch off thy light, I don't know from where do I get the Promethean heat that can rekindle it. And yet it must be done. He goes on. Desdemona gets up and says, have you prayed? Yes, my lord. Did you ask for forgiveness? Forgiveness for what? Whatever you have been doing, I'm not doing anything. You and Cashew are carrying on, I know. No, my lord, is just my friend. What are you talking? In anger, I know everything what is going on behind my back. Don't think I don't know. He takes the pillow and smothers her. Half dead on the bed, and half her body is lying outside, hanging down the bed. Her maid comes, Emily, and knocks at the door. Othello goes to open the door. She runs and says, my lady, what happened? In her dying, so Othello is standing there far away. Emily is carrying Desdemona's head in her arms. She is in a dying breath. She is saying, remember, Emily, my lord did nothing to me. This was the character of Desdemona, and she dies. Othello is looking from there. He looks at Desdemona's dead body and says, lies, lies, till the last dying moment, lies. Then he comes to know what Iago did, and he kills himself. He is dead. Cassio is destroyed. Iago goes to prison. Iago's wife, Emily, the maid, she dies. It's a disaster. Shakespeare's most of the things, whether it's King Lear or Macbeth, everything ends with disaster. Fear of losing, envy, jealousy. When I desire is fulfilled, it is destroyed. When the desire is not fulfilled, it comes anger, delusion, loss of memory, destruction, it is destroyed. Therefore, many Mahatma says, it is better not to desire. You don't desire, you'll be all right. It's like saying, I have a headache. Somebody comes to me and says, sir, I have a headache, what to do? Cut your head. No head, no headache. What is the way to get rid of these desires? We'll see in the next class. Thank you very much. Oh.